Welcome to the perfect gift for the sports fan in you. This is the hottest sports blog on the internet. It's the Weather Report. I'm your host once again, D-Ruck, aka the Weatherman, and today we're going to forecast the last week of the NFL season. We're going to discuss the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants, and also I'm going to try my best to give you a great forecast on what I feel the AFC playoff picture will look like at the end of Sunday night. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos. One team's playing for a playoff spot in the Denver Broncos. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are playing to keep a guy who they, from all reports, like and would want to keep as the head coach, Romeo Crennel. Now think about it. If you're Cal Orton, what better way to end your season? I mean, you started as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. You have a couple of bad games. The fans turn on you. They put billboards up asking for your third string quarterback to take your job. They don't respect you. They boo you during introductions. And then the team cuts you at the end of it all. Week 17 rolls around. You're now the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Your team's out the playoffs. You look at your schedule. Last game of the season, you're like, oh man, it's the Denver Broncos. And then you find out that those same Broncos have a chance to make the playoffs if they beat you. Remember, folks, revenge is a dish best served cold. You got a team with a better offense and a better defense, and I'm gonna tell you who that team is in a second. But let's look at it. Let's check this out. Last 2 weeks, the Denver Broncos, maybe teams have started to figure out that offense that they're running. Look at the numbers. Tim Tebow, 24 of 52 for 46% percentage rate. Not gonna get the completion rate. Excuse me. That's not gonna get the job done. 379 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Okay. Now, granted, he does have 127 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns in the same 2-game span. But remember, the biggest story about Tim Tebow was he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't give the ball away. 4 interceptions say he does. Okay. The Denver Broncos in the last 2 games have been outscored 81-37. And this is against teams that are not known for their defensive players and their defensive schemes. We're talking about the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Okay, yet they were only able to manage to put up 37 points. It's not going to get the job done in the NFL, and it's not going to get the job done on Sunday. Kansas City Chiefs, better offense, better defense, better head coach, better quarterback. They win the game. You heard it here first. Next topic. Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants. Now, 3 weeks ago, these two teams played. Giants squeaked out a victory, but does that really matter? And in my opinion, it doesn't, because when you get these two teams together, I'm talking about division rivals, you have to throw the records out the window. Okay, you got Tony Romo on one side, you got Eli Manning. Let's be honest, both teams have been completely inconsistent this season. You have a couple of good games from each team. And then the next week they decided they didn't want to show up on that Sunday to play. The New York Giants started this season off strong, and now they're in a position where they're basically trying to squeeze into the playoffs. Cowboys, they're up and down. Since Tony Romo's taken over as a quarterback, they've been up and down. So, who do I feel is going to win this game on Sunday? Sunday night, prime time. The Cowboys have been known to choke in prime time. But remember, after the 49ers game earlier this season, I told you that Tony Romo is starting to mature, that this season we were going to see him finally win the big game. And do you think I'm going to turn back on my opinion now? Of course not. Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys, they're the better team. They get the job done this Sunday night. They finally win the big one. They send the New York Giants home for the playoffs. They send Tom Coughlin to the unemployment line, which some Giants fans have been screaming for years. But Cowboys win. They win the NFC East. They go to the playoffs. The Giants, they go home to join their other New York team, the Jets, on the couch. Which brings me to, segue, the AFC playoff picture, okay? Now, before I came on the air, I changed my thoughts, so, bear with me a little bit. But check this out. Number 1 seed, I have the Patriots. They beat Buffalo on Sunday. In my opinion, they'll keep the number 1 seed that they're in the position of having right now. Number 2 seed, this is where I changed my opinion. I do not trust the offense of the Baltimore Ravens. I know they have a great defense, but their offense inconsistent. So I have the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Cleveland Browns this week, taking the number 2 seed. I have Baltimore Ravens losing to the Cincinnati Bengals, which puts them at the number 5 seed, and I have the Bengals in the number 6 seed, which is why I'm donning their jersey for this edition of the Weather Report, because I think that they will go from a team who was looked upon as being one of the worst teams in the league at the beginning of the season to a team that will make the playoffs. And I give a shout out to Marvin Lewis, Andy Dalton, and AJ Green for even being in this position to begin with. At number 3 seed, the Texans, because they're already there. Now, I know I have the Broncos losing to the Chiefs, but I also have the Raiders losing their game, which means the Broncos will get in due to the tiebreaker anyway. So, to recap, Patriots number 1 seed. I got the Steelers number 2 seed. Texans are your number 3 seed. The Broncos, by virtue of a tiebreaker, they'll be a number 4 seed. You got the Ravens at the number 5 seed. And number 6, a great story, feel-good story for the season, the Cincinnati Bengals making it into the playoffs. And that's my forecast for this week and for this last week of the NFL season. Thank you for taking the time to view the Weather Report. You can find me here on Twitter at the Weatherman Ruck. That's me right there. See it? There I am. Find me. If you want to debate me, if you disagree with my picks, let me know. If you think I'm completely off my rocker and you know, don't know anything I'm talking about, let me know that too. In a respectful way, hopefully. But I value everybody's opinions. You may be wrong, but I'll still value your opinion. All right? Remember, men lie, women lie, numbers lie, but facts don't. All right? Thank you. Hope you all have a safe and enjoyable new year. I'll see you all in 2012 where I'll continue to forecast all things sports all the time. Thank you, and I'm out.